Okay, now let's take a look at what is known as a story graph. Story graphs are just real-life situations graphed on the coordinate plane. The story graphs have breaks that represent a sequence of events. So you can see in each of these examples, there have been 3 different rates of change. It is so important to make sure you remember or take a look at what each axis represents. So generally, your x-axis is time. Sometimes it may be specific with minutes, hours, days, weeks. The y-axis in these examples is distance from home. So you can see that in our first graph, let's go back. In our first graph, the first interval, this individual is going away from home. Then in the second interval, this individual is the same distance away from home, but time is going by, so they must be taking a break. And then they pick back up and continue moving away from their home. Notice that the interval 1 and interval 3 seems to have the same constant rate of change. In our second graph, it's the same situation. However, you can see in the first interval, this individual was going much faster than the third. The third interval shows a slower rate of change. Then in our last example, you can see this individual started away from home and they are going closer to their home. They're taking a break and then they end up back at home. So you can see in this one, interval 1 and 3 seem to have the same rate of change. The negative of the slope just indicates that they are going back home. Now let's take a look at an example that's more specific. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 intervals of different rates of change. So we can see that here we have a fast food restaurant, takeout, and over the given hours, we can see how busy the restaurant was. And so now let's find the rate of change between each interval. So from 0, so we're going to first look at 0 to 3, hour 3. So I'm going to say from 0 to 3, the rate of change, and we are going up by 25s. From 0 to 75, and that was over 3 hours. So they had 25 customers per hour from hour 0 to 3. Then we have hour 3 to 4, and we can see that they had no change in customers. The rate of change is 0. And then the next interval from 4 to 8, we are going to have a change from 75 up to 275. So that is a change of 200 over 4 hours, and that simplifies to 50. So each hour, they had 50 customers between hours 4 and 8. So it's a little bit busier, or actually twice as busy as it was between hours 0 and 3. Then we have from 8 until 12, so hours 8 until 12. Let's see how many customers they had per hour. So from 8 to 12, it went from 275 up to, looks like 300, so that's 25 over 4. So this is not going to come out exact number, and we're talking about people. So let's just say, so 4 into 25, that's 6 and 1/4. So let's just round it to 6 people per hour. So it's kind of real slow between hours 8 and 12. And then our last interval is from 12 to 14. And this changed from 300 to 350. So from 300 to 350 is 50, and it was over 2 hours. So that is 25 customers per hour. So you can see between hours 0 and 3 and 12 and 14, they averaged the same amount of customers per hour. The busiest time was between 4 and 8, and this is our steepest line. Let's take a look at one more. Here we have Jude's journey, and we're looking at minutes and elevation. So he's going to be going up, staying constant, going down, going up, and staying constant. So these are going up by 3s. Okay, and then our elevation is going up by 3s, and in between is 1.5. So let's start out, and we are going from this point, from 0 to it looks like this is hour 21. So let's say right here, let's call that hour 20. So from 0 to 20, it is going from, this looks like 5, this would be 4, and this would be 5. So 5 up to here, which looks like that would be 10, okay? So from 5 up to 10 is a change of 5 over 20, and this gives us a rate of change of 1/4. Then from hour, it looks like 20 to 30, his elevation does not change. It is constant. So we can have 0 over 10 if you want, and that simplifies to 0. Then he is coming down. He is moving down, must be going down a hill. And that is from 30, it looks like 40. So from 30 to 40, he is going, this was 10, and then he's going back to 5. So he's going down from 10 back to 5, his starting point. So from 10 to 5, that's negative, and the negative just means he's going downhill over 10. So that is a rate of change of -1/2. So he is going a little bit faster as he goes down the hill compared to when he initially started and he was going up. He was going up 1/4. His rate of change is 1/4. And then this section, section 3, interval 3, he has picked up his speed, I guess, from going downhill. Now let's look at this interval from 40. So from here to here, that's going to be 50. So from 40 to 50, he is going from 5. So from 5 up to here, which looks like about 25. So from 5 to 25 is a change of 20, and his elevation is 2. So his average rated change is 2 minutes per feet. And then our last interval from 50 to 60, it's constant. You can see his elevation is not changing over the next 10 minutes. So his elevation change is 0.